Okay, hey everyone. My name is Jenny Erickson, and you are here listening to this class on smell training, either because you have been referred by someone or because I encouraged you to come. So, you may be wondering, is it possible for you to get your sense of smell back after it's been gone for a couple weeks or a couple months? And the answer is yes, it is possible. It is not a new thing for people to lose their sense of smell. And there have been solutions that have worked over the past years and studies over the past few months that have shown that it can get it back. So let's get started. All right. Yes, you can retrain your brain to smell again. That is the good news. Let's do a biology 101 lesson really quick here. The loss of a sense of smell is called anosmia. The loss of sense of taste is called ageusia. Olfactory retraining is when you are teaching your nose how to smell again. And if you can take your two fingers and pinch right above your nose, where the bridge of your nose is, your olfactory nerve sits right under that bridge of your nose. And there are about 24 olfactory nerves and 10 million receptors. That's a lot. So the power of smell is very important. Sometimes people underestimate how powerful it is, but there's a powerful link between our sense of smell and our daily functions. Thinking of smelling a cup of coffee in the morning, or they can affect our mood. They can make us feel depressed, but they can also increase our spirits. Now, what if you smell a skunk? Okay, our sense of smell can also help us with the fight or flight. Is it time to take care of that scent, or is it time to run away? Now, what about gas? Can you smell gas? That's a safety hazard. Now, what about smelling freshly squeezed orange juice in the morning? That's something that would make you happy. Or maybe smelling your grandmother's freshly baked chocolate chip cookies. That's definitely a good smell that I have, a smell memory. It's invigorating. Being outdoors in the fresh air make you do things you've always wanted to do. Your sense of smell could also depend, your career could depend on it, and your relationships could depend on it. I mean, you don't really want to go around smelling like BO all the time, right? So a loss of sense of smell is a safety hazard. So if you can't smell anything right now, if you can't smell smoke, if you can't smell vinegar, if you can't smell mustard, that's a hazard. So you've got to put some plans in place. So for smoke, make sure your smoke detectors are ready to go. Make sure the batteries are changed. And the spoiled food, make sure you're throwing your food out regularly. You will not be able to smell rancid meat. So you've got to have a plan in place for that. When in doubt, toss it out. Gas leaks, make sure you have a backup plan for that, and other household chemicals. So you can tell it's getting your sense of smell is important. Now, in 2018, this is the study that I'm going to reference in this class. There was a smell study conducted by people with Stanford University. And what they did is they had two groups of people, and each group was given a Neil Med squeeze bottle. That's this little thing. And then they were given saline packets. They were given distilled water to do the nose rinse. And then they were also given 4 essential oils: rose, lemon, eucalyptus, and clove. One group was randomly assigned a prescription steroid of budesonide for the nasal rinse, and the other group was not. They were told to do the nasal rinse twice a day, and smell the essential oils twice a day as well. And then they were supposed to record their findings in a journal. They did this for 6 months, and both groups improved significantly over the 6 months. And just a side note, the addition of the prescription of budesonide irrigation, it doubled the effect over the smell training alone. So if you are interested in adding that to your smell training, please ask your doctor for more information. And just a statement here, these statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, And these products that I'm going to tell you about are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. But it is important to know that you have hope. Dr. Grayson, an assistant professor at the University of Alabama, says, although losing the sense of smell can be quite jarring, there are ways to regain that lost sense. In another study that I read, 80% were able to gain their sense of smell back within a year, and 85% gained their sense of smell in 2 years with no treatment. And that's just proof to you that olfactory nerves can regenerate. All right, so now let's talk about the great smell training study of 2021 and who the participants are. That would be you. So you are going to be doing your own smell training study. We won't be recording anything on you, but it's up to you. You are going to be a pioneer in this because not a lot has been done. There's been studies out of several reputable medical schools and universities since 2020. All right, so here's the smell training process. If I want you to remember one thing, I want you to remember this quote, and I've highlighted it because I'm going to be famous for it. So it's smell the scents and do the rinse. Okay, smell the scents and do the rinse. So you're going to be doing this 2 times a day for 3 weeks, or when you get your smell back, potentially up to 4 to 6 months, and continue for 1 week after you get your smell back. Now, I'm going to tell you something. The number of days or weeks or months really vary when people get their smell back. I know somebody who got her smell back in 3 days. I know somebody who got their smell back in a week. I know somebody who has not regained his sense of smell for 11 months. So there's a lot of different outcomes. So just be patient with yourself. So what you're going to do, you're going to train your nose to smell 4 different categories. This is important. You've got to be in the categories of floral, citrus, resinous and woody, and minty. And again, in the Stanford study, they use theirs, but it can be other essential oils within those categories. Now, there are some things on hand that you can use that you might already have in your home. Some of you may have a neti pot, so you might be used to this process. And then this is the NeilMed rinse. I am not endorsing this company. I'm not paid at all to advertise for them. This is simply what was used in the Stanford University study. So this is what I'm showing you here. But you can also use lemons. You can go to the store and cut up lemons. You can go, if any of you have a rose garden, you can cut some roses, bring them in. But the thing is, it's got to be fresh, it's got to be potent, and it's got to be daily and not dried. And then make sure the categories that you don't have, make sure that like, I don't know how many of us have access to clove. It can't be dried. It's got to be either the essential oil or fresh. So, and there's also a lot of different kinds of clove. Well, you can use things in your house. The most important thing that you are going to need to buy or make is pure water. You're going to need to get distilled water or boil your water. And once it's at room temp, you can use that. Or you can do the reverse osmosis water, but that's going to be a purchase that you're going to need to make, or time that you're going to need to spend in boiling water. Now, why did the study not use fresh lemons or fresh roses or fresh eucalyptus? And that's because essential oils were so easy to store. You have a little bottle and a cap. Take it on, take it off. There's no slicing and dicing. It's more potent. The growing conditions are well monitored, and they have rigorous testing methods to make sure that the essential oils are pure. There are 7 pounds of lemon, 7 pounds of lemon in this one little bottle. So when you're smelling this, you're smelling 7 pounds of lemon every single time. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right. Now, what are essential oils? I'm going to give you the definition that Johns Hopkins uses, and they describe them as they are plant extracts, and they are either steamed or pressed or distilled. And they're parts of a flower. Or parts of a plant. They're flower, bark, leaves, fruit, and it's several pounds of a plant pressed into a tiny bottle. And they often have been known for giving us fragrance, but they perform a myriad of other functions. And now's a good time to tell you, right now in the United States, we have the Mayo Clinic, the Cleveland Clinic, Vanderbilt Hospitals, Kaiser, and over 150 other hospital systems across the US have begun to use essential oils for their patients and to sell these in their pharmacies. So these are definitely getting the credit they deserve for helping people. All right, now, not all essential oils are created equal. A lot of the ones in the big box stores, they are diluted and they contain synthetics. One of the ways that you can do a test is you can take an essential oil from one of the big box stores, and then you can take this one. I use doTERRA. I've done so much research and I found that they have the purest, most sustainable sourcing methods. But if you're going to do a test, you could put it on your arm and when you would pour just one drop of the one you got from the big box store and then one drop of doTERRA lavender and watch them. The one from the store is going to run off your arm because it's diluted. Okay? It's going to be watery and it's not as effective. It's not as potent. And then the one from doTERRA is going to stay and you can rub it into your skin. It's not going to run off because it's thick. It's full of actual lavender and it is not diluted. So when choosing a company, there are other companies out there. And so ask these questions. What are their sustainable sourcing methods? Have they gone through extensive, rigorous, and thorough testing? Are the test results made public? Is the information on the bottle, is there clear safety information available? If you see an essential oil out on the market that's cheap, guess what? The quality is cheap. So you get what you pay for with essential oils. You just got to be careful. So here's what you start with. So you're going to get your smell training kit. Now, I've had enough people doing this that I put this together for you. I put together a kit for your convenience so you don't have to go looking around for the sinus rinse bottle. You don't have to go looking around for the essential oils. They've got lemon, lavender, and peppermint, and clove. And those cover the 4 categories of the floral, citrus, minty, and resinous or woody. Okay. And I'm offering that for $55. Shipping is free. If you already have a neti pot or a sinus rinse and you've already got your saline packets, then I can give this kit to you for $45. Just let me know. The first thing you're going to do is take the smell assessment. Okay, this is going to be things that you can do, smells that are around your own home. So I would want you to figure out, what can you smell right now? Can you smell vinegar? Can you smell mustard? Can you smell something that's really light, like vanilla or milk? And I can give this sheet to you and it tells you the questions that you can go over and how to categorize them. All right, so when you get your kit, you gotta open up the box and you have to find a place for it. Essential oils need to be stored in a place that's away from sunlight and away from extreme hot and extreme cold. I would recommend you could put them in your nightstand drawer, some place where you're going to see them often, because you're going to be doing this twice a day. And then ready, set, sniff. Here's how you do it. Okay. You're going to take your bottle, you're going to open it up, and you're going to hold it like this to your nose. And you're going to do several sniffs. And while you're sniffing, you're going to think about your previous experience with this scent. And if you think, oh my gosh, I've never smelled lavender before, I don't remember what it smells like, that's okay. That's okay too, because eventually your nose will receive that signal. Now I want to show you this really quickly. When you are doing this smell training, you're taking the scent and you're smelling it. You're going to do it for 15 seconds, and you're going to take little sniffs like this. Okay. Now, some people say that they prefer to put their drop of oil into a glass or stainless steel cup, and then they can breathe it. Then they can have both of their nostrils breathing it at the same time. That's fine too. Just make sure you put a lid back on it. But I wanted you to see how that is done. And you're going to do it for 15 seconds, and then you're going to wait, and then you're going to do the next one. The order of in which you do the scents does not matter. But I'll tell you what does matter after you do after you're smelling each one. So you smell it for 15 seconds, take a break for 15 seconds, then smell the next one. You got to do the nasal rinse. So the nasal rinse is really, really important. So here's why it's so important. Because studies have shown that when you are physically removing the mucus from your nose and draining it through this irrigation process of using both water and salt, it's showing that it can help increase your body's immune system response because you're getting rid of the bad stuff. They have addressed it here on the side of the NeilMed box. They've talked about the benefits of doing the nasal irrigation. Now you've got to use, I talked about this already, but you've got to use pure water. The water needs to be distilled or water that has been boiled or reverse osmosis. And you're going to take this bottle and you're going to put it in your nostril. You're going to follow all the directions, but that's kind of how you do it. And you'll squeeze it. Okay. And you'll be squeezing it into one nostril and it will drain on the other nostril, drain out of the other one. Okay. Here's a summary of the steps. Number 1, you get your kit. Get the 4 categories of scents. Number 2, you take your smell assessment. Number 3, actually open the kit, find a place for it, and use it. Number 4, sniff. Ready, set, sniff. Sniff for 15 seconds and break for 15 seconds. Step number 5, do the saline rinse. So here's my quote. I highlighted it again. Smell the scents and do the rinse. Okay? Tips. If you are going to be using the essential oils, they must be pure therapeutic grade essential oils. I've already done a ton of research for you, so you can use the ones that I have prepared for you. And the water also must be pure. It's got to be pure. You cannot be putting any more extra problems into your nose. That water has to be clean, clean, clean. All right, now some of you may not feel like you're ready to begin, or you may not have the time, or you feel like you don't have the energy, but the sooner you start, the greater the benefit will be to you in the long run. So I suggest you start now. These are the sources that I have used in the slides. I have referenced the studies that I talked about. And then this is my contact information. You are looking at my email and then my website if you would like to know more about these products, but feel free to reach out to me. And again, so the smell training kit includes 4 essential oils plus the nasal rinse, okay? And that includes the bottle, okay? So I'm saving you a trip to the store. It's free shipping. I'm making your life easier by preparing this for you. You don't have to go around searching high and low, and some of the kits out there that are in the big box stores, they're not going to cover the 4 categories that I listed. So I've done the work for you, $55, and just send me an email and I'd be more than happy to work with you. If you buy a kit, I will also give you the smell assessment page and the instructions. Plus I will do a follow-up call with you in 2 to 4 weeks to see how it's going. So, all right, there you go. Thank you for watching. And again, you can retrain your brain to smell again. Don't lose hope.